So this is going to be the first setup here that I'm going to be working on. The first setup is essentially the train, and I'm going to really push on it as a low poly object with a low poly object basically with painted textures. I have kind of my rug texture, and I'm going to implement that as well. Um, I'm going to work on my door texture here. I think this is going to be probably the highest poly, or maybe the couch is going to be. So it's going to be kind of a steampunk area, and I'm going to be working with the train basically moving through a tunnel. So moving over to my 3ds Max here, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go into the polygon primitives, and to just start out in a little bit easier fashion, what I'm going to do is go to the extended primitives, and I'm going to make a chamfer box here. And the reason I'm going to do that is because of the simple fact that the chamfer box is going to have kind of the initial shape that I want without worrying too much about this. Now, because I'm doing this particular thing and I didn't really draw out measurements and things like that, I'm going to leave the chamfer box as it is, and I'm going to actually add on a normal modifier. And now the normal modifier will flip the normals, okay? Now, if it turns black like this, basically you can see the box turns black. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my properties here, I'm going to go into my object properties here, and I'm going to go into by object, and then I'm going to just turn on backface culling, and I'm going to say OK. So backface culling will kind of reverse it so you can actually see through the normals. And then I'm going to block out the scene real quick. And the reason I'm doing this is because of the simple fact that I just want to have some basic idea of how big things are. So in this case, I'm going to just take a box, and I'm going to move the box roughly like this, and I'm kind of using it to size up in here. So I'm just going to move this down, and it's on my base ground here, and I'm just going to kind of move it like this, and I'm going to scale here, and what I'm going to do is create an instance so I don't have to worry about what particular size everything is. And I'm just going to move this over. As you can see, I'm just going to move it right on the wall like so. So this gives me kind of my initial location. I'm going to create a real quick box here, and what I'm going to do is this is going to be my couch seat, and I think my couch seat needs to be a little bit wider, so we're going to just kind of let's lower that for size, and then let's widen that out. So there's my couch seat, and what I'm going to do is again move it down like so, and so this is kind of the area that my system is going to fill in here. And I'm just going to copy, and I'm going to copy an instance again. This way I can definitely see how big things are. I'm going to move this over so it fits in the corner, and I'm going to move this one over here. So I can then, once I've got these in there, I'm going to grab all three of these, and I'm going to let's see here, we're going to quick align here. Nope, we're good. I think we're good. I'm not even going to worry about that. So I'm going to just hit escape here. And then I can slowly adjust these door positions too. I can move them around wherever I need. As you can see, it just requires some basic adjustment. And just by doing this, all I'm doing is just kind of giving my idea a good placement of things. And from that area, then what I'm going to do is I can already see that this is going to be way too narrow for a standpoint of how big things are. So I'm going to just grab my two doors here, and I'm going to shift and drag across here, something like so. And those are going to be instances as well. And then I'm going to go and grab my two chairs here, or three chairs here, and I'm going to shift drag those as well. So this is it's a kind of a wide carriage. I'm going to do an instance as well, and there's kind of a reason I'm going to do this, so I'll kind of clue you in on that down the road here. With that being changed, then I'm going to go back into my chamfer box properties, and I can I like the height. I think I'm going to just change the width of it here, or the height, actually, the way I created it. So I'm going to create that like so, and we're just going to move these in so, like that. And then I'm going to grab one of these. I'm going to kind of shift it in, same thing, instance. I'm going to rotate, let's see here, we're going to do it on a 90-degree axis, like so. Oops, 0. Let's try z-axis. Sorry, I was working in Maya on different axes, different directions. So I'm going to move this and kind of center it like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do one more door here, and I'm going to instance that as well. And what I'm going to do here is, what I want for my theme here is kind of a control panel box up here. So I'm actually going to go back into chamfer box here, and we're going to kind of move that like so, and maybe a little bit bigger, something a little bit bigger. Okay, so now I've got my box placement, and everything looks okay. I'm pretty happy with the results, and yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the results. So I'm going to just do real quick, I'm going to put a box, and we're just going to move said box down here, and that is just the wall placement object here. And so we're just going to go here, and I think I've got my height. There we go, all the way through. So as you can see, just by kind of looking at this, it's really a big wide train system. I want to have a higher roof on here, but I think what I'm going to do is put on my different aspects here of the train. So this is fine for what my initial purposes are, because that's what I'm going to do here is I've got my setup, I've got my base idea, I'm looking at it, it looks good. I think, like I said, a higher ceiling. There's some other things that I can do. Now I'm going to create another box here real quick, and before I do this, actually, I'm going to create a box here, and it's going to be on the wall, kind of centered a little bit outward like that. And I'm going to just move that box like so. And I'm going to move this door so that we can see it over here. But now this box here, I kind of like this aspect, so I'm going to just go in, kind of raise that just a hair. I want a bigger window, so we're just going to kind of scale that up a little bit wider and move it up. So now that I've got my windows in there, I can simply grab, and I'm going to instance again. I'm just hitting enter to really quickly do this. Alright, and then I'm going to grab my two windows like so, and move them along the passage here like so. And now with these all instanced in there, the nice thing is I decide, hey, I want to raise the height of this door, and all I have to do is now, because they're all instanced, I just have to get the right height, and I'm good to go. And because one is taken care of, the other ones are in there. So that's what my train is going to look like for now. and I think I've got some good leeway. I think I might have to get it wider depending on how big this chair is, but the placement of everything looks pretty solid, so I'm pretty happy with that. And essentially what I was going to do is I was going to do a carpet runner from here to here, and that's just going to sit kind of on top here, and I'm just going to change the overall color here to so. So now that with maybe a little bit higher so we can see it. Just there we go. Okay, so that's going to be my carpet runner. I'm going to delete that and I'll do it as a texture down the road. But for now, that looks perfectly fine. I don't need these polys in here, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay, so now as you can see, I've got my aspect of what everything is. Everything looks good. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do a couple different things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these out here, say OK, and I'm going to be working solely on this piece right here. This will be the couch, and I will be doing this in the next video. Alright?